This is pretty cool. I like this. I'm going to do 14 on this. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if the photographer's here, that you didn't vignette this because you wanted it to look like this guy's blending in, which is the whole point of his coloring and how he stays alive. I don't know if there are natural predators for an owl, maybe an eagle, I don't know. But he's got to survive, and the way he does that is blending into his environment. So this is a very good photograph showing that, okay? And how you found him, not entirely sure.
Santa Fe Ranch.
Hmm. 14 and a half.
That won't work.
Yeah, I got to do 14 on that. I do like the sky. I mean, that sky's pretty cool. I was just in Santa Fe like 2 months ago. The red rocks, you know, the red in here, it's all very, very positive, which is what you get down there. But here, I'm just trying to make sense of that. You got a building and two giant pieces of foliage. This maybe could have had different lighting on it. Like in post-processing, you can create the lighting that you want. Dodging and burning, dodging and burning. Everybody knows what that's all about. This could have used a little bit of that. You got a hill here that maybe you could have made a little lighter because it's closer to the sky and all that kind of stuff. But then in here, maybe a little bit darker.
Playing King of the Lake.
Uh, 13 on it. I do like, you know, I'm going to say this is like Erie because the sun's going down right where you'd expect it to be. So you caught it right. I mean, the photographer's standing in the proper place to catch this in between. Okay. Now, was that the best choice? Not sure. That's the discretion. For something like this, what I might have done, and I'm only getting, this has nothing to do with this particular photograph, but move around a lot and try to put that sun in different spots. Put it back here, put it over here, and just see what you like when you get it all home. I don't know, maybe you did that. Okay, I'm just saying, if you didn't, work the picture to get as many angles as you possibly can. But otherwise, it's pretty good. Now, their legs are showing, maybe, I don't know if they should be deeper or not. Push them out there.
Pretty in pink.
I do 14. This is a good, technically it's a good photograph. A lot of this is in sharp, it's sharp photographically, but then all the way back here it's very blurred out. I'm getting the impression, however, based on what this looks like, that this is artificially blurred. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. It's kind of a look. But technically, this is nice. These are nice because they're coming into the photograph, leading the eye into the photograph right there. I like it to look like wings.
Playing in the ocean surf.
I had to do a 13 on this. It seems to be a little bit more saturated than I like personally, but I'm the judge, so I get to say that. I don't know what, I believe this is a human. It looks like a little bit like a camel. I'm not sure if there may be, if they're standing there looking for beach glass that doesn't exist in the ocean. I'm not sure. It's good that they're in here. I don't know if this is here. But that's where my eye went. You know, it's like bang, bang, bang. and this great big bright spot right here. But the mist and the surf and all that is very oceany. And the reflection's nice. I just think it's a little strong.
Iris.
I'm going to do 14 on this. I like this photograph. I'm not entirely sure what's going on down here. You see that?
Yeah.
You know, I just don't know what that. And it very well could be the equipment. I don't know. I do like the fact that this is not open yet. Could use maybe a little bit lighter to get the detail in here. I think this is an important part of the photograph. This is fully in bloom. Everybody's done an iris. These are almost coming out as well, so it's very early. I like that. Good coloring. This is like direct light, and then we have this bounce light over here, which is really nice. Good coloring.
Calling home.
Yes, this is, I'm going to do a 13 on this. There's a lot of weird stuff going on here. So this looks, I'm not sure what that is. It looks like an emblem of some kind, or a menu, or a school book, a cover of some kind of book. And of course the Kohler thing, I mean, it's obviously an Erie bread, but then you got the Buckeye up here, it's Ohio, and then you got this spot. And look at that spot. Get that spot out of there. Get that spot out of there too, right there. I mean, if I could see it projected, there's a third one right there. Fourth, fifth, sixth. Once you start seeing these, it's like you really got to look at them. Okay, there's a technique on Lightroom to help you do that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, obviously, we composited picture like this. It's very interesting. I like the hat. I like the hat. You gotta like the hat. I don't know where do you find one of these anymore? So probably in Erie because of the Kohler. You know. But yeah, it's an interesting picture. Technically, it needs some help. You know, just spots and stuff.
Pickup game. I go 12 on this. I am going to assume that because these clouds seem to be straight, that the lay of the land is crooked. Okay? Which, when you first look at it, you think, oh, geez, that's really off. But then when you go up to the clouds, these are pretty straight. But you got a lot of lack of detail back in here in these. I mean, it is a nature picture, so to speak. It's got a lot of natural elements in it, so show them. Don't leave them darkened out. Once again, it could be the projection that's doing that, but even in the kids, all this dark, you need that to be a little bit later. But other than that, I love the fact that this girl's running. That makes the picture. Enjoying the pollen.
I'm going to do a 13 on this. Once again, going back to what I said before, you don't have to take the whole flower. And this is a perfect example of that. You don't have to take the whole flower. And you don't have to shoot it f22 to get everything in focus either. Only this is in focus. And the star of the show is in focus. But over here, you got real competing elements up here that shouldn't even be there. That could have been, this is not a crop situation. This is the photographer moving the camera situation.
crooked stick.
I'm gonna do 13 on this. I like it because of the composition. You know, leading eye, branches coming up here, branches coming down here. But I'm not sure where the focus is. The focus is probably here because this is not in focus here. I think in a case like this, people look at it and say, well, why isn't it in focus? The other photograph that we just looked at, it's obvious that the point of focus is where it should be, and everything else is secondary. On this is the whole tree. I think it should all be in focus. And I think a little bit stronger on contrast. Bring the detail out down here, but I think still a little stronger in contrast. It's a good sepia tone though.
General. I don't know.
General competition.
Okay.
Silly boy.
Yeah, I should have known.
No name. I'm going to do probably a 12 on this. I guess I don't like this down here. And you look at a foreground element. Well, this is a sliver of a foreground element. If you're going to have a foreground element, make it strong. Okay. The strongest part of the photograph is the water. I mean, that's the whole point of Niagara Falls, right? Unless this is Iceland, I don't think it is. Moving over a little bit this way and maybe capturing a little bit more. Because this is like, here's water and here's air. It's like, where'd the water go? Now we all know where it went. But to capture that makes a lot of sense. And I understand that you're always competing with the mist that's coming off of this. But it's been done before. So move over a little bit, capture the falls rather than Niagara River.
She'll be coming round the mountain.
I'm going to do 13 only because I think this could have been more dramatic than it is. I like this is Letchworth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, with the railroad bridge. Over. Where's the boat? Right? It's like in the other photograph. Where's the train? But you could wait for 2 or 3 hours for a train. I get why there's no train. Yeah, I just, you know, there's so much power right here in the center. And there's not much going on over here or over here. Maybe crop it in a little bit more. And it's really, really bright down here. So this is like a mirror image of competing with that.
Enough said.
The lake froze overnight.
I'm going to tie a string to your finger and yank it away.
Touch the pad anyway. Touch the pad any place it goes.
No pad for you.
We'll go back.
I like it. I like that. I think it's a 15.
Oh!
Oh, you guys.
Is there a timer that This is bad boys in focus all the way around. To me, it's a very difficult photograph to take. And I think the photographer nailed it. And I like the fact that, I don't know if he's landing, he's probably landing, but this is dark here. I think that helps make the photo. Okay, now you can change it.
Perfect angel.
Probably a 13. I hesitate even with that, but it's not bad. I don't think it could be anything but black and white. Anything that you find in a cemetery like that. Assuming it's a cemetery, and I could be wrong about that, but to me, is speak cemetery. And it's really bright back here, which is fine, but if anything could have used a halo, a dark halo around her, it would be this photograph. And I'm going to leave that go because it cuts part of her hair out, but not her head. And there's not a real need for her to have that in there.
Lilies and light.
I think that's a 15. This is a very dramatic photograph. I like the green and the orange. You know, they're complementary colors. And it's not cut in half. It is on an angle, which is what I like. I would love to have seen a few flowers in here. Depending on the time of year, it's tough to get. I like that. All right.
Foxy baby.
Look out, you're a target.
Jimmy.
I'm going to do a 13 on this just because of his expression. I like it, but talk about being a target. This little guy is right in the middle of the photograph. This was blurred, kind of like after the fact, and it's fine. But this, it wasn't. This is blurred in camera. The reason I'm saying that is because there's a lot of noise here. But once again, this could have been a better photograph if you maybe crop some of this stuff out and put a vignette around this guy to make him the star. People use vignettes since 1800s for a reason.
I was framed.
Okay, so it made everybody smile, so it did its job there. I'm going to do a 13 on that. These, I mean, basically what I'm looking for, these are straight. They're not tilted. That's a good name for it because once, you know, this guy is framed. Or girl, you can tell from this photograph. But once again, you got a black dog here and a lot of white around it or light around it. You could have maybe used the opposite effect, make it dark around it, because you have, I think this is sun that's on his face. But the eyes are in focus. That's the first thing you'll get.
Pedal, pedal, power.
I'm going to do 12. I don't want to guess where this was. I don't think it's in the U.S. But once again, this is shot midday or close to it. Very high contrast between the two. Maybe some HDR would have helped. You got a lot of black in here with no detail in here, back down in here. You could have used that. You got some variegated light here with some shadows, which is a good thing. That helps this portion of the photograph, but back here, it's a lot of, you can see how harsh that is compared to this. Wait for a cloud to go over and then take the shot. That's what I'm doing.
So many flowers, so little time.
To do a 13 on this, I would have, I think to make it a stronger photograph based on how much you've got over here that is offsetting this. This guy would have been better if he was pointing up here and you saw the entire body. That's just my opinion. I don't shoot bugs. Ask Bob about that.
Because you can't get them to pose.
That's just the first thing that I thought of.
Geometry of a water tower.
I'd do a 13 on this. I understand why this is centered and everything. This is a very geometric pattern, hence the name. And it's got decent clouds and such in it.
Bull-headed.
Uh, 12 on that. I think there's way too much down here. I think it'd be crop that. It's already, this picture has a lot of weight to it because of the animals that are in it. But it's so light down here, and I don't mean light color or luminosity. I mean it's just very pastel, it's very light, airy, and it kind of betrays the strength and the weight of these animals. So if you cropped it down here, I think it would have made a little bit better photograph. Now, I haven't seen any square photographs. This might be a square photograph. Try that one again. A little more contrast here.
Summer beauty.
I'll give that a 14. Technically, a very difficult shot to get. And then in post-processing, we have it darkened here to make this stand out. So once again, technically very good. And then you've got him coming in to the flowers, obviously landing. Maybe not landing, maybe he's taking off. Hard to say. Now, I don't like the banding here, but I got a hunch that's not part of the photograph. I think that's the projection. I'll get rid of that thing right there. What is that? What is that?
Ready for a pilot.
I like it. I do a 13. You got good colors here and here, good focus, throughout. It is vertically oriented. The only thing I question is I don't quite understand what this is.
It's a canopy.
It's a canopy.
It's tilted up.
Tilted up.
Yeah, hit the nose.
Okay, but canopies are yellow, aren't they clear?
No,
No, the tin.
that was yellow.
Depends
Tin
on-
color.
He doesn't hold like it, does
Hey, I'm just calling them like I see them. Interesting.
he? Okay.
Ricketts Glen.
Wonder if she lost it.
I'm going to do a 14. Been to Ricketts Glen, shot them all. A lot of people have in the room. I like this particular photograph because it's not of a waterfall. It is. I think secondarily, it's the power of the water coming off the waterfall, which is very cool to me. What could be improved about it, this is very nice up here. See how, like pastelish, almost like there's a fog. Maybe it's so early morning that it is a fog. But down here, it's very harsh and very contrasting. Down here, it's very black. You've got this white thing here, don't know what that is. But this could use some more detail. Now, not to say that the detail is going to compete with the water. The water's still the photograph. This is the whole point of the photograph. But detail is really important for the human eye. I think really get some detail out there. And this is just so harsh. Tone that down.
Catching morning rain.
of is how to improve the photograph, and I guess I can't come up with anything, so I give it a 15. I think that these water droplets and the fact that the entire flower is wet makes the picture. You very rarely see pictures like this that it's completely wet. I mean, you go out, you go, early in the morning, you see some dew. But I'm sure a lot of people have in their backpacks, as I do, a little spritzer, water bottle spritzer. Make your own rain. But I like it, very pastelish down in here, not too bright up in here. Yeah, I like it. Well balanced. It is kind of bullseye-ish, it's like right in the middle, but it's a little bit higher because you've got enough space here, but more space down here. So I like that photograph.
Wow. Scored 15. And it was after I ran out there after the rain, because it was so gorgeous.
Here goes Debbie again. What do we got?
Joanne Stearns, the old one, Jean, I'm sorry.
Jeannie Stern and Cheryl Winkle. So we had 3 14s. Good for you guys. Joe Schneider. Good for you, Joe. Olivia. And who else? Mary Kay. And Elaine. And Odie. Boy, you guys rocked. Those gold guys rocked. What do we got here? Melinda. Kathy Maloney. Chuck Garrett.
Yeah, it was long.
John Bishop. Good.
There's gonna be a lot of certificates to get this week.
I know. Gail.
Yeah.
She sure does get around.
Rustlin. You guys rocked.
Yeah.